Burkina Faso, a land once marked by struggle, carried stories of pain, resilience, and rebirth. Among these stories was that of Musa, a man who had touched both the depths of despair and the heights of hope. Once he had everything: a comfortable home, a modest savings, and a wife he believed was his lifelong partner. But one evening, his world shattered. His wife, Stella, revealed the truth. She had been seeing another man, and together, they had emptied Musa's bank account and sold his home. In the blink of an eye, he was left with nothing. Neighbors whispered, friends turned away, and Stella walked off with her lover without looking back. Musa stood alone in the dusty street. Clutching only a small bag of clothes, his dignity crushed. Days stretched into weeks. With no shelter, he wandered the streets, sleeping on benches and surviving on scraps. Hunger gnawed at him, shame weighed him down, and sometimes he wondered if life was still worth living. One scorching afternoon, as Musa sat under the shade of a tree outside a shop, a familiar face appeared. A tall man in military uniform approached and stopped. It was Captain Ibrahim Traoré, an old schoolmate. "Musa?" Ibrahim said, disbelief in his voice. "What happened to you?" Musa lowered his head, too ashamed to speak. Ibrahim knelt beside him, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. "You helped me once in school," Ibrahim said quietly. "I'll never forget. You shared your books, your notes, even your food when I had none. Today, let me return the favor." Musa's eyes brimmed with tears. "I have nothing left." "Then we'll start with nothing," Ibrahim replied, "and build again." Ibrahim took him home, gave him clothes, a hot meal, and a place to rest. For the first time in months, Musa slept on a bed, his heart heavy but comforted by kindness. Over the following weeks, Ibrahim helped him regain strength, encouraging him to dream again. "Musa," Ibrahim said one evening, "you once dreamed of owning a shop, didn't you?" Musa nodded faintly. "A small bookshop, a place where children could find learning, just like we did." "Then that's what we'll build," Ibrahim declared. With his support, Musa opened a modest stationery and bookshop in the heart of the city. On the day it opened, Musa stood behind the counter, overwhelmed by gratitude. "This is not just a shop," Ibrahim told him. "It's a new beginning." Life slowly settled into a gentle rhythm. The bookshop thrived, and Musa became known not only as a shopkeeper, but also as a mentor and friend to students and teachers alike. His warm greetings, patient advice, and listening ear made him more than a businessman. He became a guide. One Friday morning, while he arranged pens on the counter, the bell above the door chimed. A woman in a simple blue dress walked in, her smile kind, her eyes bright. "Good morning," she said. "Do you have senior school math textbooks?" "Yes," Musa replied with a small smile. "Come with me." She introduced herself as Grace, a secondary school teacher. Over time, she became a familiar presence in the shop, sometimes buying supplies, other times simply sharing conversation. Their bond grew steadily. She brought her daughter, Rachel, who often sat in the reading corner Musa had built. Slowly, Musa's heart healed. Grace, too, had known pain. She was a widow raising her child alone. Through shared stories, laughter, and quiet understanding, their connection deepened. One evening, Musa confessed softly, "I never thought I'd smile again until I met you." Not long after, under the golden glow of a sunset in a small garden, Musa knelt and asked Grace to marry him. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Yes." Their wedding was simple but filled with warmth, attended by friends, neighbors, and even President Ibrahim Traoré. For the first time in years, Musa felt whole again. With Grace and Rachel, his home overflowed with love. But Musa's journey did not end there. Wanting to give back, he launched a foundation to support men who had lost everything, training them in trades, helping them open businesses, and restoring their dignity. Standing before the first group, he said, "I was once on the street with nothing. One friend changed my story. Now I want to change yours." Meanwhile, Stella's life spiraled downward. The man she had betrayed Musa for abandoned her. After stripping her of everything, alone and penniless, she moved from one rented room to another, haunted by memories of what she had thrown away. One day, she saw a photo of Musa with Grace and Rachel in his shop window. Her knees weakened as regret consumed her. She had traded gold for dust. While Stella faded into obscurity, Musa's influence grew. His foundation flourished and his story spread across the nation, Invited to speak at the National Youth Conference, Musa stepped onto the stage in a gray suit, his presence commanding respect. "I was once a man who lost everything," he began. "My wife betrayed me. My savings and my home were stolen. I slept on the streets with nothing but shame. But one friend reminded me that brokenness is not the end." He paused, scanning the silent hall. "The best revenge is not hatred. It is living again with peace and joy. Betrayal does not define you. What you choose to do afterward does." The audience erupted in applause. Many moved to tears. From that moment, Musa was seen not just as a survivor, but as a beacon of hope. In recognition, President Ibrahim awarded him the National Order of Merit. Cameras flashed, reporters asked questions, and Musa answered with humility, "Hate is poison. Forgiveness is freedom. My life began again the day I chose to forgive." His words spread far and wide, inspiring thousands. Headlines praised him. From beggar to builder, the man who rose again. At home, Grace read the paper with pride, and Rachel hugged him tightly. In the evenings, Ibrahim often visited the shop, where they laughed like brothers, remembering the past and celebrating the future. One night, as the sun dipped low, Musa stood in his shop watching children flip through books, their laughter echoing softly. He thought of the man he once was, the broken soul sitting under a tree, and the man he had become. "I was broken, but not destroyed," he whispered. "Abandoned, but not forgotten. Betrayed, but not defeated. My story proves that no matter how deep the fall, hope can always rise again." And in that moment, Musa knew his journey was no longer about survival, it was about legacy.